Hello and welcome back to St. Moritz, Switzerland. We have a super exciting race today. This is the Omega Monobob Invitational race. And this is a really cool race because it's going to mix the 4 para-athletes, 4 women pilots, and 4 male pilots. We're taking away the start. They're going to be pushed off just like our para-athletes are. And so these athletes are going to be on an even playing field. We're going to see who is the best pilot out of these 12 athletes. We're super excited to be in this beautiful place, to have this awesome race and really see who is going to be the quickest down the track. It's not very often we get to see the men, women racing together, let alone having those para sleds involved as well. This is a special race put on by Omega, and we are super excited to be witnessing it today. We're going to have Francesco Friedrich in the lineup. He is just off becoming world champion once again in the 4-man bobsled. We're also going to have Brad Hall, who's finished second in the World Championships 4-man bobsled competition just a few hours, half hour earlier.
So, we are ready. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the signal.
Joining me today, I'm Elizabeth Meyer, and we have alongside me Greg Cackett, who is also recently the vice world champion as well in the 4-man bobsled behind Brad Hall.
Hi, Lizzie. Yeah, I am here. I'm live and really looking forward to this one. So we've got Gabriela Napova first. Now, really interestingly, you see they had that launch mechanism that sets them all off, and it's really interesting to see how they maintain an even and fair start with this. It basically calibrates based on the weight and launches everyone off supposedly at the same time.
Definitely. You've been replaced by a mechanical push.
I know. I remember the first time I saw this thing, I was like, don't show UK sport. They realize they'll save a lot of money.
Definitely. No, it'll be really interesting. So it should take any advantages away from any of these athletes. They are in those monobob sleds by Accent Sports. So they also are on equal playing field when it comes to equipment too.
Yeah, it's been a really good thing, the monobob competition, because there's always an equipment advantage with countries that have the means to sort of pour money into that and have the resources. So the monobob standardizing that has been really interesting to watch, and that's why it's been such a spectacle at the Olympics. And for the ladies who compete in it, it's been a huge thing. So yeah, this is going to be fascinating. Now I can't wait, because obviously this is a bit of fun, and Brad Hall, as you said, is going last. My pilot today, who almost gave away our silver medal, he parked it out of Horseshoe. So I'm looking forward to seeing him tidy that up. Now he knows he's got a watch and a money award on the line here. I'm sure Brad will find the right lines.
Definitely. There's a big prize on the line for these pilots, so they all want to be competing as fast as they can.
That's it. And sorry, earlier that was a spur bob, I believe. So someone just to make sure the timing systems are working, the track's ready to go. And this is Gabriela now. So the Czech athlete, it's her 3rd season. She's a webmaster from Prague. She made her debut in 2021. And she had a coach who suggested she try out Bob, and she's flipped twice in Horseshoe in training. So keep your eye on this one.
Interestingly enough, in the para bobsled competitions, the men and the women always race together. So she's normally competing against Lonnie, who we'll see a little bit later on.
That's right, yeah, they weight up the sled so it's as even as possible. There is slight differential in the starts. We're going to see that as this goes on. So these guys have already done a training run, which was wonderful to see Brad not doing too well. And I'm fascinated to see, go, just had a little tap there. So for the para-athletes, they are a little more used to these sleds, but according to my guy, Lonnie Bissonnet, he's already said that they are reacting a little bit differently. It's not quite the same, so it is a somewhat level playing field here.
Definitely. They're a little bit different than those monobobs. The women are normally, a little bit rough there. The women are normally piloting, so they have a little bit to get used to as well.
That's it. And so we just saw her coming out of Horseshoe there. She did the big tap into telephone. And she's going to these big 4 right-handers now. She'll go out of leap, out of Gunter Sachs, and she'll see how much speed she can take into Martineau. And then Portago to finish. This has been a really tricky track this year. Obviously, Moritz is recarved every year. It's a giant 2-mile ice sculpture. It's a 1:14:48 for Gabriela there. And we've seen a lot of crashes out of horseshoe. So this is horseshoe you're seeing now on your screens.
She's a little bit lower, but she is in a monobob. So, I mean, I'm used to watching the 4-man sleds recently, but she takes a big tap as she heads into telephone. This has been a very tricky transition for every type of sleds this competition.
And this always makes me laugh with the para mono. They have no regard for runners whatsoever. Just yank the thing out, shove them back in the scabbards, and off they go. So next up, we have Olympic champion Justin Cripps, 2-man Olympic champion. He's now Canada coach extraordinaire. Let's see what he's got in the hand still. I didn't see his training run. I was in anti-doping, which is why I'm actually desperate for the toilet now, which is a disaster. So if I go quiet, Lizzie, halfway through here, that's why. I had to nip out for a wee.
Good. I mean, Cripps knows how to drive a sled, but I don't think he's been behind the D-rings this whole season, except for maybe the practice run a few minutes ago. But how could he miss this opportunity in St. Moritz?
Absolutely, especially when you've got such a fantastic prize on the line. So he's already given away 1600s here to Gabriela.
Wow.
Justin, this is shocking from the Olympic champion. Come on, mate, get under control.
He is Olympic champion. He is a medalist at the last Olympics of 4-man as well, so.
And he's going to gain speed now, because that was a beautiful exit. You see number 1 on the telemetry there, so he's going to be flying down here around Nameless now. He takes these big right-hand turns. Well, there we go, 2/10 in the bank.
Yeah.
So we're going to see him pulling away here. So there is the Olympic champion, finding the lines. Oh, a bit skiddy there, Justin.
Definitely a bit skiddier for these athletes because they don't have the brakeman behind them like they're used to.
Exactly. They don't know what's going on. It's disasterful. And 7300ths there. So he's done good. Gabriela cheering him on. Obviously absolutely furious. She's not going to get hands on that watch. But this is where Justin gained his speed, right? His exit of horseshoe.
Yeah, he had such a nice, clean exit. And like we mentioned, it's a very tricky track this year in St. Moritz. He's still got the good feeling. He's in his hands. Yeah, there you go. Well done, Justin.
Got his little wristband on as well. Lest the security not let him in. There we go. Excellent. Good stuff, Justin. Next up, his compatriot, his countryman, Lonnie Bissonnet. Now, this guy is one of my favorite people on the tour. Lonnie is an absolute lunatic. Lonnie's a base jumper. And he is just a phenomenal character, and he's one of the original Parabob pilots. He's got a lot of runs under his belt. He knows how to control these things.
Definitely. He started Bobsled back in 2013 in Calgary, so he has been sliding for many, many years.
That's it. We were having lunch the other day, and he was showing us his base jumping highlight reels, and he still base jumps as a paraplegic after his accident. He's just a remarkable guy.
Definitely. We're super excited to have him on the Canadian team and such a veteran of the team as well.
Yeah, and you see there's this real great camaraderie in the para community as well. You know, they haven't had as much attention. I mean, even in the bobsleigh community, you know, in general, we don't get a huge amount of attention, and para gets even less. So it's a real nice, tight-knit community. You know, he's good friends with Corey Mapp, you know, RGB para athlete as well, and it's been so good to have them here to, you know, be in a World Championships with us legitimately, televised, and be a part of this thing, because the St. Moritz World Champs is a spectacle.
Definitely, and as they should be a part of our World Championships going forward.
Absolutely. Oh, and there's a skid that's going to wipe some speed, but he's got number 1 speed here. Come on, Lonnie. Is he going to take out the Olympic champion? He does, 1400s. Oh, Justin Wave. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
He's absolutely furious. Absolutely
Lonnie's
furious.
going to keep that one, be like, yeah, I did beat the Olympic champion. No, that was a great run by Lonnie. I mean, a bit skiddy, but he's used to these sleds. He's got good hands. He's such a veteran, won a ton of Crystal Globes. He's such a great pilot.
Yeah, fantastic. Justin knows he's not going to hear the end of that one. That's every Team Canada breakfast in every hotel from here on out.
Yep.
Yeah, but who won, Justin?
Yeah.
Good job, Lonnie. Next up, now, this will be fascinating. So I caught the end of the training runs. Now, Laura at one point was miles ahead. So we are looking at the Monobob World Champion here. And she's definitely this year's most improved as well, obviously winning the World Championships. But she's really tamed this beast since she took that 4th place in Beijing at the Olympics last year.
Definitely. She struggled a little bit in 2-man or 2-woman bobsleds, so she's looking for this for redemption.
So we're going to see how she carries her speed from the launcher here. She's got 800ths to Lonnie. So these sleds have all been weighed up, so they are all weighing the same. And she's bringing it back.
It could weigh 105 kilos prior to getting into the sled, so I think they probably put some weight in there to even out the women to the men.
Now here's where the speed wobble. Beautifully out of horse. Look at that, 310.
800s. There you go.
So Laura is flying. So we saw this in, like I said, I caught this in training. She was really moving, and a lot of people weren't anywhere near her. I think even Brad, wonderfully, was nowhere near Laura here. And she's flying down the bottom part of this track.
Maybe she's in an FES. Do we know that for sure?
Well, supposedly there have been witnesses that no runner prep has been done. But we'll see. 7,200s. There you go. Round of applause for Lonnie. So this is fascinating. Supposedly, there's an algorithm in the launcher which it bobs them back and forward to kind of gauge the weight and then launches them accordingly to try and keep it as fair as possible. There are discrepancies, which obviously are rife for conspiracy theory. But obviously, if Brad gets pushed off to something 4/10 faster, I'll be furious and make sure the IBSF bans him. Yeah, brilliant, good job, Laura. What a quality year she's had, and what a quality driver she is.
Definitely.
Next up, well, here we go. More Monobob royalty. The Olympic champion, Kaylee Humphries, widely regarded as one of, if not the best driver in the field, men and women. She's not going to be happy with that, though.
No, she's very successful at the Olympics, won that inaugural Olympic gold medal in Monobob. So, let's see what she can do here.
So she's looking good around Wall. Wall has been a tricky corner this year. She's taking a big tap there. So I was chatting to Kaylee at the end of the training runs, and she said they are not handling like traditional monobobs, and they do have super thin runners on, which you think would give them a bit more stability, but these guys are used to sitting further back in the monobob. That's how they figured out how to optimize these things. And she said this is wanting to kick out, but she was beautiful out of horseshoe. So let's see, second fastest speed. So let's see if she can bring this back now.
Accelerated. So Kaylee's got to be perfect and find a little shortcut here at the bottom of the track. I don't know if she's found it.
No. Interesting. I thought she'd have more in the bank here, but she'll certainly have. She just had too much going on at the top, I think. Too many skids, too many taps, and they're pretty catastrophic at this track.
Let's see what we got at the finish line.
5,400s. Okay, so Laura, one step closer to that watch. Brilliant.
Going to see Kaylee going to horseshoe here. Like you've mentioned, normally they're sitting a little bit farther back in her bob or her monobob that she usually has. You can see her bringing it off of horseshoe, trying to make that into a nice long straightaway as she heads into telephone corner.
She wasn't too happy with that. Oh, she should have known from the top. Those taps out of kink one, pretty disastrous. Okay, next up. Wow, they are coming thick and fast. The big dogs of sliding. Francesco Friedrich, our most recent four-man world champion as of about half an hour ago. And again, widely regarded as the GOAT. So let's see what he's got in the hands. He didn't have a great training run. He's working hard to keep that under control. Now, Franz will not want to lose. He just doesn't want to lose this guy. So I don't even think he cares about the watch. I think he just wants to win.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to be behind. He's such a talented athlete. He's really strong on the start. So now they're taking this away, and we really get to see the hands behind Francesco.
So he's looking okay here. He managed to keep a bit more control than Kaylee did out of that first kink, and so he's carrying speed down. Ooh, big tap before Dixon. Let's see his line round horseshoe. Low, very low.
Like you mentioned, he did just win the four-man worlds, so swapping into a monobob's quite a little bit different for them.
Yeah, but again, arguably, he'd say he's got the most recent memory of the track, so he should be fine, but he's not. He's back. Laura's going to take him unless he finds some... Oh, big tap. Second fastest speed, so the man knows how to find speed, but I don't know if he's going to have enough in the tank to beat Laura. Here's Laura Nolter, the best driver in the German program. She is.
Look at that smile.
You heard it here first, Laura Nolter. The greatest driver in German bobsleigh program history. It's official.
German dinner is going to be interesting tonight. Yeah, Francesco, here he is going through Horseshoe. You can see him peering to the left just so he can spot his exit, drive it off nicely.
Oh, it's hilarious watching this. I mean, this race is the bragging rights, right? That's the main thing here. Good job, Francesco. Next up, hometown hero, Mikkel Vogt. So Mickey has, he's had a pretty good world champs. He wasn't very happy with his four-man, but he managed to get back up to a top 5 finish. Look, he's trying to get some aero there from the launcher, but this is the two-man bronze medalist. So this guy is super talented. I've got the highest ratings for this guy as a driver.
He has fantastic hands. He's really a strong pilot. I mean, all of the pilots involved in this race are very strong athletes, strong pilots, so it's really great to see them competing together.
Absolutely. He's in the red numbers here. Can he find some of those secret Swiss lines? Bit skiddy, but only 100th. Here we go. Again, he's not going to want those skids. That's going to scrub time. But it's all about Horseshoe. How's
Definitely.
the entrance?
He had a nice entry into Dixon.
That's nice. Avoids the tap and telephone.
Nice into Devil's Dyke. That's been a really difficult transition for athletes this year.
And this is excellent stuff. Is he going to find enough speed at the bottom here? Is Laura going to take another scalp? Another tap. Second best speed. Is Mickey going to bring home for the Swiss, or is Laura? 3,500, way back. Great job, Laura.
Super pleased with her run so far. We're going to see Mickey here going through Horseshoe. It's one of the most famous corners on this track. Again, just peering for that exit. Just wants to spot it before he starts driving the D-rings off. And then Gunter Sachs seems to have really caught a lot of athletes by surprise today in the four-man and here as well. Next on start, we have Jones Fry from Switzerland. Again, another hometown hero. He is part of the para bobsled program. A little bit messy here at the top of the track. All right, bring it back online. He's been competing for 4 seasons. He comes from Swiss wrestling and was a world champion in 2021 and 2022. He's aiming for a hat trick of wins this year in World Cup. These are the sleds that these para athletes normally compete in, so he's going to have a little bit more experience than the rest of those athletes. It's only 5/10 back. Let's see if he can really reel it in at the bottom of the track.
Yeah, and Jonas looking pretty good here. Apologies for my absence there. That's what happens when you get an athlete in commentary. He's just had anti-doping. Oh, takes a tap before Gunter Sachs.
Big skid on that uphill section. That's the top speed of the track. Let's see what he can do here.
And a second back at the line. Laura lives to see another run. Delighted.
Here he is coming off of Sunny. Just a really big skid as he heads into Nash. And then into Horseshoe here. Got a little bit more height than we've seen some of the other athletes. That makes for a really tricky transition into telephone.
Yeah, this year everybody's been going against the normal high Horseshoe line. They've been taking the lower line. It's really been spitting people out well. Now this will be fascinating because in training, Bree was flying, I think, ahead of absolutely everybody. So keep your eyes peeled for Bree here.
Definitely. She was #1 in that training run. Oh, no! Big hit on the left.
Oh, giving her a little curse there. Sorry, Bree. I really want Bree to beat Brad as well. She needs to beat Brad. So you can see Laura had a 6:41 on the start, Bree 6:43, so pretty consistent. A pretty consistent getaway. Now, Bree was finding speed all the way down, and let's see if she can do it again, see if that wasn't a fluke.
Yeah, although she gave a little bit away on that top bit, I think she can fall in some after Horseshoe.
She's 3,300s back.
really shows the strength of that run Laura put down. That was a good-looking run by her.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot to... Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, if you're a brakeman in the back with that tap out of telephone, let me tell you, you're winded for the rest of the run. So, Bree getting a little taste of what that's like there. But that's not the run she was putting down in training. Oh, come on, Bree. Bring it back.
It's a more hits than Elvis run, unfortunately, for her.
That's... Oh. Skiddy, 7th best speed, so she's going to be pretty far adrift at the line here, and the Nolta machine marches on. It's the second. Oh, Bree. Honestly, I can't tell you, I was down there at the end of the training run. She was flying. Green numbers the whole way down, and no one was coming near her, so she'd have really fancied herself with this, but you can see the back end of the sled
sideways.
there. Yeah.
She's sideways in horseshoe, which makes this transition so abrupt. Boy.
Yeah, Laura knows how that feels.
Yes.
Next up, we have Robert Bulk from the USA, another veteran of the Parabob circuit.
And Robert Bulk, he's actually a 6-time Paralympian and 4 times in cross-country skiing.
And he's off to a 6:53 start, so 1200's given away in the start, but he keeps that under control well. And actually, correct myself, it's actually only his 2nd year of sliding, so he's actually relatively new to the Parabob.
Definitely, and these are great-looking lines for someone that's been sliding for 2 years.
Definitely, and well, a man who's used to cross-country skiing, he's picked the right sport. Now he can just sit down and do his sport. It's much nicer, Robert. And he's skiddy there. It's going to be scrubbing speed all the way down. Little tap before Dixon. Let's see.
Gotta bring it back online here for horseshoe. More middle line. This
late off
it.
5th best speed. He's round Devil's Dyke, round Nameless. Now goes into the big right-handers. He's through tree, bridge, and then under the bridge, round Leap, and then Gunter Sachs. Let's see if that sets him up for a top speed into Martineau. Yeah, skip, it's not too bad.
Is good.
Yeah, you see how he's brought the speed back, keeping it clean at the bottom. And out of Portago, what's he got? 7,700, 6th place. So that's that is no disservice to himself. That is a pretty good run for a man who's only been doing it for 2 years.
Right in the mix. I mean, the troubles he had was more at the top of the track. He did struggle a little bit here. Exit of horseshoe's gonna really flop on the exit as he heads into telephone. Misses that left wall, but takes a lot of the ice away on that right side.
And look at the names stacking up behind Laura Nolta. She put down an absolute smoker.
Definitely.
Next up, we have Melly Hasler. So Melly had a frustrating result in the 2-man. She was 4th, just outside the medals on her home track, but she did break the track record with her brakewoman, Nadia Pasternak. So Melly will really want to do something for the home crowd here.
Definitely. Hometown hero here. She wants to really lay down a great run to end her World Championships on and fight for that watch.
That's it. 1,500's only here, so if she keeps this tidy, we could see a real race on our hands here.
Okay.
This isn't too bad. Square tap. She's keeping it a bit skiddy there. Back end's round, so she goes round Sunny. International Dixon. Bit skiddy, but doesn't take the tap.
That's kind of the fight these pilots are having. Do I take the skid or do I take the tap? Nice into telephone.
2nd fastest speed. Little skiddy round Shamrock, but she doesn't take the tap, so round Nameless, and then we'll come into, again, these big right-handers. If she keeps these clean, she can build speed here.
2nd right now. Can she close that 2,300 gap?
She's in a dead heat with Kaylee so far. Is Laura going to keep marching on to that watch? She is. 2nd place, though.
With every athlete that comes down, she knows she's that much closer to that watch. This was a really good run by Melanie Hasler. You can see her peeking out to the left just so she can watch her exit. Make sure to get a good, clean exit as she drops out.
That's it. A pretty good run for Melly there. I think she can be happy with that. And judging by what I saw in training, she has got nothing to worry about here because Brad was awful. So let's see what Brad's got in the tank. Now, again, we're talking about someone who, Friedrich being hyper competitive. You're looking at the British version. So Brad will be doing everything in his small brain to figure out how to get down here as quickly as possible. Come on in, big guy. Let's see what you got.
It's nice to see Graham's out there cheering him on and the rest of the guys, too.
I know, it was almost a bit sad, though. It was like a little pat on the board. Come on then, Bradley. Very, very British, polite. So he's going to want to get around kink 1. Now see what he's got in the start. 6:38. So he has got everything he needs to win this. He just needs to drive better than Laura.
This is looking really clean right now.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep that back end in. It's already down to 200ths. If he can keep this under control, this is going to be so infuriating if he wins, because he will be insufferable, Lizzie.
Oh, he's getting a little bit more.
He's speeding up. Oh, no.
You got to pay someone to put some snow in the track.
That's it. Somebody, someone throw some glue vine over him. Ooh! And that's what he just did to us in the 4-man. And that's killed his speed. Come on, Bradley.
Need to clean up these bottom right-handers. He might drop behind Hassler if he doesn't clean it up.
Yeah, I think that horseshoe tap is going to have potentially killed him off here. Not bad at the bottom again, little skiddy, but I think he's going to be too far back. I think the watch is Laura's. Laura Nolte, the greatest pilot on the circuit, is the Olympic 2-woman champion. Laura Nolte, the Monobob world champion, wins the Omega exhibition race. I mean, you could have put your money on it. It was a pretty sure thing, really.
Definitely. Here's Brad heading into horseshoe, medium low line, and he's struggled a little bit in the 4-man in horseshoe, and unfortunately, he struggled a little bit here too.
Yeah, look at that. It was awful. Oh, thank God he didn't win.
And takes that huge bump on that left side, throwing him around instead of the brakeman in the back.
Yeah, no, it's normally us that takes the tap, so delighted to see that. Now, obviously, Brad has had such a storming year. The guy is a massive bobsleigh talent, and he's in such a good phase of driving at the moment. Obviously, that world silver medal we just won is the first medal since the 1930s for the Brits. But it's not about that. It is about this woman, Laura Nolte, winning the Omega Monobob Invitational race. She takes that watch and takes that prize money.
Francesco Friedrich congratulating her. What a great run she laid down. Well deserved of that watch.
Absolutely, she completely flew, and it was there for Brad to take, but he's just obviously not as good a driver as Laura, so we'll have to get her transferred over to Great Britain, and she can come and drive our 4-man. That would be wonderful.
Exactly, she's a phenomenal pilot, and she really did lay it down here.
Excellent stuff. Well, I mean, it was for a bit of fun. It was going to be an interesting thing to weigh up, but look at our top 6, Lizzie. Look at the names. Francesco Friedrich fit. Okay, that's all Brad will care about. He had 600 from Friedrich, and then, yeah, that'll be enough for him to go out tonight and enjoy himself.
It's great that Mickey Vogt got on that podium as well, and Melanie Hassler in second, but Laura Nolte ran away with that race. Lonnie Bissonette in 7th, Jonas Fry in 11th, Brianna Walker sneaking in there at 10th.
That's it.
That was a fun race.
That was good, yeah, it was good, it was interesting. And I mean, I did say I wouldn't trash Brad all the way down. I think maybe I did, but I have to listen to that in post. Maybe they can edit it to me to be a bit nicer to him. But that was good fun, Lizzie. Enjoyed that. Reunited again on the commentary.
And here we're going to see Laura Nolte.
Laura Nolte, congratulations on this win. So, first of all, your experiences in this sled, because it's totally different from your normal sled. Well, we're doing an interview. Torsten Magis is coming in.
Yeah, it was a fun experience. It was very different than my own mono. The steering was much more loose, but I think I figured it out pretty well.
Yeah, you won this race, so and also it's quite difficult to race in the dark, I guess.
It is, and especially after my crash in 2-man, I was a bit like, but I wanted to show myself and everyone that I can drive here and that I can do it. So It was good.
Yeah, it took a lot of guts. You of course you performed very well in the Monobob. You're the world champion. Then this 2-man was a little bit disappointing for you. You had to do this run to get yourself a little bit of self-esteem again.
Yeah, of course. Like my head coach was like, okay, you don't have to do the race. Like just like sit in bed. But I was like, no, I want to do it. I want to show that I can do it, and I wanted to prove it to myself too. So I'm more than happy that I could walk away with a win now again, like against the boys, and that's cool.
Yeah. Because the field you beat, Francesco Friedrich for once, Brad Hall, Kaylee Humphries, those are really good pilots.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool for me as I'm a young pilot. So yeah, I think that it will give me a bit of confidence, and it was a fun race, and I think such races should have been done more often.
Yeah. So you took a very good feeling from this World Championships in St. Moritz. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you too. Have a good one.
So Laura Nolter there, interviewed at the end of our Omega race. Lizzie, are you still there?
You bet I'm still here. That was a great race by Laura Nolta, and what an opportunity to have all those disciplines put together.
Definitely. Now, you're a skeleton athlete, Lizzie. How would you have fancied yourself in that race? Where would you have put yourself in that field?
Last. No.
Well, very honest of you.
And how about you as a brakeman? Where would you put yourself?
Ahead of Brad.
Just ahead of Brad?
There you go. Yes, I'm going predictable, aren't I?
A little bit, but nah, it was a great race to be watching.
Definitely.
I hope there's a little bit more of these in the future, perhaps at these St. Moritz races. It really is something special for those pilots.
Definitely. And depending on what track we're at, I mean... if we do it at St. Moritz. But I think maybe give the brakeman a go. It would be absolute chaos, but it could be... I mean, for a spectacle, it would be fantastic to watch.
Because relatively, those monobobs are a little bit trickier to crash. So, for sure, put the brakeman in the front and see what they can do.
That's it. I think that was a positive assumption there. But yeah, Brad would find it hilarious. And actually, to be honest, if I did beat Brad, I don't think his ego could take it. So our team would fall apart very quickly. So for Brad's sake, I won't ever take part in one of these races.
That's probably the best idea. But what a great show. Yeah, really exciting 2 weekends of racing here in St. Moritz. It's been awesome. I mean, you guys had phenomenal 2-man and 4-man competitions.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic year, a great year for the Brits. You know, we weren't expecting it. We had a new development brakeman on the sled, and we really weren't expecting any sort of results this year. And look at him smiling away. He's had a great year. That's a great lineup. Some of the best to ever do it there. You've got Kaylee Humphries, Francesco Friedrich, Lara, who's going to go on to have an amazing career going forward. The same with Mickey and Melly. They are, bright future prospects for Switzerland. They've already won major medals. Mickey just finished outside the medals at the Olympics in Beijing last year. The future is so bright for some of the European and American talent in bobsleigh right now.
Definitely. What a great result to have 2 Swiss on the podium as well, to edge out 2 other Olympic champions, Kaylee and Francesco.
Yeah, and again, like we said, the bragging rights off the back of this competition are enormous. I think it's the end of the champ, so I'd like to think everyone will be out tonight for a couple of glühweins, and we'll be able to, reflect and recount on what has been an amazing champs. I mean, even Francesco said, "I'm so pleased this is over." Brad same.
Yeah.
Like, the stress of this competition has been really high because Friedrich's trying to keep us away. We're trying to do something that's never been done before in our country, and Laura obviously she had that spill in the two women, so that really was difficult for her. And as she said in her interview, bounced back to take the win, as you can see there.
There we go. Laura Nolta wins, Melanie Hassler second, and Michael Vogt third, Brad Hall fourth, Friedrichs fifth, and Kaylee Humphries sixth. That is our top 6.
Fantastic. And as we said, Brad will be delighted he's in front of Friedrich, Mickey will be delighted he's in front of Brad, and Laura will be delighted that she buried all of them.
Yes, definitely. And there is Ivo Ferriani giving Kaylee Humphries that 6th place medal, and that check definitely is a nice boost.
Definitely. Now, I didn't know that everyone got a check.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just for the winner.
No, it's 2,000 for fifth, 3,000 for fourth, and so on, up to $6,000 for the winner.
Oh, that's pretty good. Well, I mean, obviously I'll need everyone to edit me being a lot nicer to Brad in post, because I'll certainly be demanding that he share that check with the team.
As he should do. You guys pushed him earlier that day.
Absolutely.
Gave him those run volume.
Exactly. We'll send him an invoice for services rendered.
Definitely deserved.
Here he is. So, right. So how much is he going to get, Lizzie?
4,000. 3,000.
3,000, right. So that's enough. Well, that's enough for 1,000 each for his brakeman. He can keep the medal.
That's certainly what he should do. One of the Omega officials giving him that check. There you go, for Brad Hall, 3,000 Swiss francs.
Well, and I've actually just settled the team hotel laundry bill with my own Swiss francs, so I'll be seeking reimbursement for that very quickly.
I'm pretty sure that bill was 3,000 Swiss francs.
No,
There, Greg.
It was actually 6,000, so I was hoping Brad to win. So yeah, I'm actually out quite a lot of money here.
Expensive laundry there in St. Moritz.
Everything's expensive.
Yeah.
Everything's expensive, isn't it? When was your last race here?
Oh, 2021.
Oh, so only a few years ago.
Yeah. But the track looks significantly trickier this year, and it'd take a lot to figure out, I think.
Yeah, I mean, everyone was struggling with it. With the big man himself, Friedrich, he crashed a couple of times in the first training runs in the two-man, out of Portago, that final corner into the finish line, and it was, you know, it was not an easy track this year by any stretch, which is what the guys and girls want, really, because if the track's too easy, then you just rely on the start and the material, and that can give, you know, certainly the German program give them such an advantage with, you know, the FES equipment, which is so strong. But hey, Laura Nolter proving that FES or not, you put her in a sled and she wins. Fantastic. Great job, Laura.
Well deserved. That was a good run she put down. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that.
Envy from everyone around her.
I was going to say, you can see it in Brad's eyes. He's absolutely furious.
What a nice gift from Omega.
Thank you, Omega. I tell you what, I think she's probably more happy about this result than her Monobob world title, I'd imagine.
You know, I thought about that. I think so. She's got to be real pleased. There's Ivo Ferriani on her right and the Omega official on her left.
What a great exhibition. And I think the music's running, so that must be the end for you and me, Lizzie. It has been so much fun to commentate with you this year as well. You got me through the female skeleton.
And you got me through now Monobob, so this has been a great race. Really fun to watch these pilots lay it all out there.
Definitely. And as you said, I hope they run this again. I hope we get to do more of this sort of thing. Maybe or maybe not putting in the brakeman, causing too much carnage. Maybe at the end of the season when they destroy the track and they send rally cars down, they can stick a brakeman in and we can help that endeavor. But thank you, Lizzie, and thank you, Omega.